All right, so I'm going to cover several topics, but the thing is, I just, given the time, because I tend to talk a lot, so I stop me if that's the case. We'd say, I tell you what I'm going to talk about, then I tell you what I'm talking about, then I say what I just talked about. We're not doing that today. But the topic being core values, so I'd like to know, show of hands, how many actually have written down their core values and look at them every day?
You're talking to a good crowd today.
Does a vision spreadsheet count?
All right, so I'm going to skip everything now. So what happens when the very work that lit you up starts to drain you? Okay? You don't wake up one day and feel out of alignment because it happens slowly. At first, it's subtle. You're busy building your business, serving clients, growing your offerings, but over time, the passion that brought you here begins to feel distant and fade. So one day you catch yourself thinking, is this really what I want to do? Why does it something feel off? And there's a disconnect, and the disconnect comes down to your core values. And so there are some, because you guys are all holistic entrepreneurs, this drift is even more critical to notice. Because your business isn't about just what you do, it's who you are, as we all kind of hear, get the sense. And if you're not anchored to your core values, it's easy to lose sight of the purpose that fuels your work. So today I'm going to hope that we start talking about reconnecting with your purpose and values, core values, facing the fears head on, and that are keeping you stuck if you are stuck, if you're not fearful. Align your business with the impact that you're trying to create. So quickly, we probably all know what core values are, but you know that they are core to designing your offerings, how you work with your clients, the clients that you choose, and how you respond to challenges, theirs as well as yours. So, but I've noticed throughout my experience is that people don't have clearly defined values. And I mean core values. Because instead we drift through decisions thinking in our gut, oh, this feels right, or this doesn't feel right. But sometimes you compromise on making those decisions, and you knew damn well that that wasn't the right thing to do. So when fear shows up, it's easy to just compromise, and then you second guess where you are, and then you don't realize in the long run that's hurting and your business. So we often see core values displayed on corporate walls, integrity, service to clients, etc. That's all great. The question is, are they living them? So what core values are, we said what they are, but what they're not is they're not just words on a page or on a wall. And they're not aspirational. I mean, it's not like you're going to live into that core, that's into your core value. That's fine. But values aren't about who you want to be someday, who you are. So when you operate without clear values and you haven't, there's not something going off in your phone to say, okay, well, every 6 hours I see where I am, and what I just did today was at odds with my core values. That's when you're not connected to them. So it requires, like everything else, to be connected deeply with it. So when you lead with your values, everything starts to align. So alignment leads me to talk about the fear of misalignment, the fear of making the wrong decision. I mean, how many times have you made the wrong decision of taking on a client you knew damn well you shouldn't have, but you did? Because it's in the long run not a good idea. So I have an example. There was a wellness coach, interesting, I had one, who was hesitating to post on social media. She was so scared of what she looked like. She was fat, she was thin, she was this, she was that. And I go, wait. The deeper issue was misalignment. Her core value was authenticity. So that's one of the values she told me. But she felt like she was being cheesy, salesy, and posting on social media. So with help, she shifted her to start sharing personal stories. And we all know about vulnerability and sharing true stories about who they are authentically. And that made her feel like she could share her life and be able to then command what she thought was compensation for the work that she was doing. And so no longer cheesy, salesy. And so she got over that. The second is the fear of burnout. I mean, we all know about burnout. It's like you can be passionate about so many things, but you feel drained, through the holidays or through, oh my God, the the political situation, the economy, the fires everywhere, everything we just take on, that external stuff that destroys, what you think destroys your core, and you start to be out of alignment with your values. So burnout, spending all your energy on clients who don't respond or respect your boundaries. Very classic. I've done that many times. because I think, oh, this guy's gonna come around, that company's gonna come around, and they don't. And then you're draining yourself, writing them emails, follow-ups, and you go, what am I doing with this? Okay? So clear another indication of feeling burnout, no energy, and yet, not feeling fulfilled. And the third, fear of losing clients. You got a client, that's great, they pay you, but most entrepreneurs will fear that they're being too firm about their values, whether it's raising their prices or saying no to clients who will drain them. Okay? And you know that, but we still ignore those things. So if you don't get anything out of today, this is my favorite subject. It's called what I call 6 hidden senses. You all have them. They're beyond our 5 senses. Mental faculties, have you heard of those? So what are they, Doctor?
Are you getting into like clairvoyance, claircognizance, and that kind of stuff, or like?
Okay, so well, let me not take away the 2 minutes I'm gonna. So I'm going to give you an acronym, but you can make the acronym the way you want. WIMPRI.
Say again, W-I-M-P-R-I.
MPRI.
Okay.
Wimpy, you can make it.
Wimpy.
Some guy said Prim W. I said pick whatever you want. Okay? So these are your mental faculties that are at work right now. You're just not aware of them. And maybe you are. Okay, so what are they? Number one, free will or will. We think that that's, and by the way, what I'm going to say is that one of these, or in a combination of any one of these other, these 6, are used positively or negatively based on your choice. So we use will typically negatively. Oh, I don't like this, and therefore, I'm not going to meet that person because, I don't know, it's not going to be a good situation when I walk in. You don't even know that. You just use your free will to kill it. So you kill opportunities with free will. But what makes, so what happens is that the fear that we have of whatever kind it may be makes you reactive. But free will gives you the power to pause and choose alignment. Are you going to choose this free will to help you or destroy you or validate the fear you have? So an example, I had a difficult client once. Instead of saying yes out of obligation, I use my free will to say, does this relationship really align with my values? But then, do I know my values? So when I went back to my values, I go, this feels right. And so I'll get to the other MPRI to tell you why. Sometimes you use it for the right reasons and sometimes the wrong reasons. So because you have free will does not mean we always choose it wisely. That's the point I'm making. Number 2, imagination, I. If you're afraid of raising your prices, as in one case with my client. So there is this woman that I had a client, she's called a love doctor in the Hudson Valley, New York State. So working with Sheila, who's 80 years old, on her 8th career, paying us a lot of money to go through coaching. And so her main thing was, I'm heart-centered, holistic, want to make sure that my clients that I'm serving, those that can't afford me, that I'm giving them a really low price. Whereas her usual clients, I think he was charging like $150 an hour, whatever the rate was. Fast forward 12 weeks, based on all the coaching that we provided, she turned it into pro bono for the ones that were needing the work that she felt hard. So she allocated time just for that, and then tripled her prices for the rest. She worked half the time, tripled her revenue. I mean, that's what that imagination of what it could be, like, Sheila, forget about the imagination. Let's just deal with where you are. Because imagination can actually realize, or you think you're going to realize your worst fears, and you're imagining all the wrong things. So think about yourself, what do you imagine the worst things to be, or the best things to be. Memory, oh my God, our bodies are 12 minutes already? Oh, sorry. You're scaring me.
But this is good stuff, I have to say.
Your body is nothing but a heap of memory, right? From all the way tip to toe. You can choose the memory we want to think about, use it to fuel even more fear. Oh, I had this experience and therefore I'm not going to do this. Well, that was then. That doesn't mean that's going to be the case next. Because you shut down opportunities because your memory is telling you something else. So if you choose to recall memories about alignment, and when in what situations you were really aligned, and you got a great outcome, that's going to be positive. The negative is going to be, oh, that person I met, he's just a jerk. I'm never going to see him again. Well, he was a jerk in that moment, doesn't mean he's a jerk forever. Right? So write down a time, and this is exercise for you, when you made a decision that feel deeply aligned, and at that time that you can write that or think of that experience, what values were guiding you then? And how did it impact your life or business or whatever else, your relationships? 4, I'm going through fast, by the way. Perception. Perception is reality, right? Or it's not. You decide. We tend to perceive things worse than they really are. You know, on average, an adult has 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And 99% of them are useless. Now, you can't go choosing that thought that's going to be uplifting, but core values can guide you there. So your perception can be a reality or it may not be. For example, if you're facing resistance from a client or a situation or a relationship, ask, what is this resistance teaching me about my values? Can you go back to your values? And can I perceive things better than they are instead of worse than they are? R for reasoning. Oh, this is my favorite one. It's the killer of everything. You reason away so many opportunities. You reason away, oh my God, it's like my logic tells me because of your experience, memory, all the things that you're combining, to sometimes turn away incredible, amazing opportunities. So if you use reasoning positively, it can help you turn abstract fears into clear, actionable decisions. I was once approached by a guy who wanted to partner with me in my business, and who promised larger access to an audience. They were in the healthcare space. 12? Okay, good. I'll leave the rest for Q&A. Healthcare space, which is not my space, but I felt, I guess I can make more money, more clients. He had a great revenue approach. And so, hey, you'll introduce to your audience, a new audience of healthcare that you're not in. Seemed like a no-brainer. I could use the money, more visibility, more opportunities, more money. And as the conversations progressed with this guy, I realized his focus was on quick wins. While my core values, in my case, they are depth, authenticity, creating lasting impact. That's what I live by. It demanded more of an intentional strategy on my part. And so for me to say no to that guy was not easy. It took 3 months out of my life. And I had to say no. And he was very upset, but that's, again, I was not attentive to my core values in the beginning, and then I had to. So reasoning can go either way, right? So just be careful how you use it. And last, as my absolute favorite, which we don't listen to, is intuition. Trusting your inner compass. I mean, that's your inner compass, right? So the big one is, it's your guide when logic falls short. Reasoning is fighting intuition all the time, constantly in conflict with each other. Your memory is fighting intuition. But intuition is buried because we don't hear it. Okay, so intuition can be sharpened through only one thing, and that's my experience, silence. Because the universe is silent. And if you don't understand that silence is the loudest thing in the world, it's all buried. And in order to really start listening to your silence, my main thing is, even if you can sit quietly with your eyes closed for 2 minutes, and I'm not talking some major meditation here, it's simply quiet with yourself for 2 minutes at a time. Do it 3-4 times a day, and you can start raising the time spot, and you start to really listen to your intuition. And you get really, really good at it. And how many times have you had this? Yeah, I should have never done that. My gut told me. But your gut's, sometimes the gut is also reasoning. No, it's not. You have to listen to that gut differently. So that's the silence. And for this group in particular, I thought the perceived conflict always turns to be between values and financial success. And it's constant. The rub is so clear. I mean, you got to address this. So how can I live my values and still build a financially successful business? Can you? Short answer is yes, of course you can. There should be no conflict between the two because you're serving your clients. So, I mean, your values are and if you're living into your financial success because your values are building trust, your values are guiding your pricing, it's attracting the right clients. It's completely at your core. There is no conflict, as I see it. But a lot of us feel the conflict. How can I, like in that example with Sheila, she's charging because she feels her heart is pulled towards these poor people. That's okay. Allocate a pro bono time just for those poor people. And do it for free. Don't even charge them $50 an hour. And then for the other ones, you're not gouging those. You're just simply saying those people are getting a value from me. So that's value pricing. You're not being paid by the hour. You're being paid for your wisdom. And this is my constant struggle with my clients. Oh, I'm paying you this much, and that's the money you make. I said, I'm telling you what screw to turn in your head. And that's 60 years of wisdom, not my time. So very important to think about these things. And so practical steps. Take action, reflect on your highs and lows every day. Moments that you feel deeply aligned or misaligned. And as you write this every day, you start to see your pattern of behavior. And then you can start looking at these WIPRI. I'm like, where am I? Because right now as we're speaking, your memory is working, your intuition's at work, your imagination is at work. We just don't know that they're at work. So when you raise the level of your consciousness of these WIPRI mental faculties, you start to become sharper and sharper, and you're so aware of why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and am I out of alignment or am I in alignment? So reflect on highs and lows, define your core values. I would think you should write them down, and they be prominently displayed, not on the walls necessarily, but somehow it has to go into your unconscious heart. It has to be inside of you. That doesn't mean, hey, I'm not infallible, but it happens to me all the time. Like if I just go back and look at it, my phone pops up, I go, yes, I shouldn't take that client on. And if I do want to take a client on, I step back and let the client come to me. And that's always worked. And then use your hidden senses. Your hidden senses are key, as I said. So reflect on highs and lows, core values, and your hidden senses. Last. Are we doing on time?
Yeah, well, we're into the Q&A.
Okay.
That's all right.
Right.
It's good.
We're
Okay, so fear is natural. The last point, fear is natural. It can control you, or you can choose for it not to control you. But for all of that, your antidote is your core values. I mean, I don't know what else to say in this context, because it is. Because if you're not connected to yourself and your intuition, you're not going to be living up to your own standard and purpose, and therefore not being able to make the impact. So 15 minutes to reflect your values every day if you can. Do it today. Don't wait for a week to do this, because you'll lose momentum. And then identify one fear that's holding you back. And then try to see if you can apply these Wimpy techniques to face them. Because when you live by your values, you're not just building a business. You're building your legacy and your impact.
Awesome. Thank